Outside of that, I told you, I loved the first drive. 14 plays, 7.5 minutes. I loved the first drive coming out of the half that led to the Jaleel McLaughlin touchdown. And how could you not love what we just heard from CBS? The pass to Troy Franklin, the boot from Will Lutz, that thing right down the pipes, and the Broncos get a victory. A bunch of questions that we had started to get answered.
You saw the answers out there from Bo Nix on the football field because it comes down to his comfort level. And to go out there that soon and to have that long, sustained drive, to be able to see what is working, what's not working, how is Spagnuolo going to adjust to what the Denver Broncos are doing? He didn't really do that. So the Broncos were able to dial things up, and then they worked because Spags is so intent on his blitz-happy scheme. Bo Nix would see the blitz, he'd identify it, and he'd throw at the blitz. It's exactly what you're supposed to do. It's football 101, and it worked because the Denver Broncos and Bo Nix were comfortable. It was such an emphasis this week to fix his feet, to get him right in terms of staying steady, keeping his base, and throwing with anticipation. It's exactly what Bo Nix did, and that's why the Broncos are able to pull off this win and continue that win streak at home, sitting at the top of the AFC West at 9-2. I'm nuts, and I said they were going to be 8-3 at the bye.
Yeah.
To have them at 9-2 at the bye.
They did one better than your crazy, you know what.
Exactly. So it's like, are they going to win 14 games instead of 13? Like, what's that number now? But you can put to bed a lot of things. One, the Bo Nix haters. Stop. Nobody listens to you. And I know our guy Sturtsey's like, have you talked about Nick Wright? I don't care about Nick Wright. That's not against you, Sturtsey. I'm not saying, what are we going to sit here and make fun of a guy that's wrong? Like, whatever. I don't care. It matters not what Nick Wright says, pretty much anything about ever. He's a nice guy, but I don't care what he says.
I've never met him, but I've seen some nice stuff that he does around his
and
community.
I know people that know him. Stink knows him well. Like, he's a really good guy. I don't care what he says about the Broncos. He's wrong, and he hates Bo Nix. It doesn't matter.
Dunk on him on social media all you want. But he doesn't need a lot of time on the radio.
Yeah, we don't need to spend a lot of time on that. What we need to spend time on is, like, how did they do this? How are they 9-2 and they've played 2 complete games?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, they're 9-2. They've played 2 complete games. The other one against Dallas, you could say Dallas or Slappies, whatever, but Kansas City's not. So a couple things that go by the wayside. 1, Bo Nix haters. Nobody's listening to you. 2, Broncos doubters. They are an elite team. They are among the NFL's best. They are Super Bowl contenders. All of these things are true. It's November 17th. And we're able to say this with certainty, not me projecting and being Mr. Optimist and hopeful and always looking at the bright side. Like, no, it's the real world, man. The really real world, Thunderbird. The Broncos are Super Bowl contenders and they're elite. And then finally, we got to stop with this whole, like, they're 9-2 frauds.
Yeah.
I've seen that out there on social networking, and it's wrong-headed. Earlier, I called it stupid, and I stick by that story. If you're calling the Broncos possibly frauds, that doesn't make sense. You're not a fraud if you get to 9-2.
Yeah.
If you're, let's say you're 5-5 like the Chiefs, and then a couple, but that was 2 missed field goals at the last second. Oh, okay, well then frauds. You're not a fraud or possibly frauds. We got to stop moving the goalposts about the Denver Broncos.
Exactly.
Every single Kev, I need you dialed in because I'm getting pissed off here. Every single time that the Broncos do something good, the haters, the naysayers keep moving everything back. Well, I mean, what had happened is Dallas stinks and Philly stopped running the ball. And I mean, my God, it's the Giants. You barely beat them, barely beat the Raiders. And then now with the Chiefs, but it's not really the Chiefs. You wouldn't be saying that if the Chiefs would have won. Mm-hmm. Flip the script, and this is a field goal by the Chiefs to win the game. You're not going to be saying, oh, well, that's because the Chiefs aren't the Chiefs. You're going to be saying, wow, the Chiefs, they can make a run. They're totally back. Look out, Indianapolis. The Broncos are a damn good team that aren't even playing their best football. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
You better be on notice. The entire NFL had better be on notice about what this Broncos team can do.
To the idea of the Broncos being a fraudulent football team at 9-2, Coach?
No, stop. It's fitting your narrative.
Fitting your narrative. That's exactly what it's doing. Fitting the narrative. That's a lazy, you want my real opinion on that? That's a lazy person that doesn't pay a lot of attention but knows what the storyline is about a football team and then still tries to jump on the big storyline without actually knowing what the pulse of the fan base is. That's what that is.
Yeah, and that's actually, it's just not knowing football. If you're saying they're possibly frauds, not even saying they're frauds because no one's saying they're frauds anymore. people are now saying, well, they might be frauds. They also might be undefeated.
Yeah.
If you don't have 2 last-second field goals, Chargers and Colts, this is an undefeated team. Then what are we saying?
Are the Colts frauds? Are anybody calling the Colts frauds?
No. Anyone calling the Patriots frauds? Every time I turn on the TV, it's something about Drake May. And listen, Drake May is good. He's always been good. He gets in his own way. That was the problem with Drake May. It's why he was my number 3 quarterback that year. Bo Nix was my number 4 quarterback last year. Listen, everyone goes on and on about these Patriots, and it's like the Brady era. It's back. Nobody says that about Denver. Denver's a superior team. Denver has a superior defense.
Exactly.
Denver is the best team in the AFC, and they're about to damn prove it. I don't care. Go to Indy. I don't want to go to Indy because Indy's a let's just say I could do without a trip to Indianapolis, but I'm not afraid of it.
Yeah.
Bring it on. Bring it on, Indy. Who's afraid of anyone out there? If you're the Denver Broncos with this defense, you can beat anybody.
With that defense, it's exactly right. You don't need to be afraid. I mean, even when the offense is stubbing their toe, and we've seen plenty of that.
Yeah.
The defense is good enough to hold their own. I'll go to Indy in a couple weeks for us, and our cup will be full until you have to go back for the combine, and then I go back to see my family. That's pretty much all the Indy we need
good
for our lives.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it in Indy. And you look at what they were able to accomplish. Again, the Bo Nix feet, his footwork, outstanding. The drives that I talked about. And then how about that first half drive? They get the Chiefs to go 3 and out. They get the ball. It led to the game's first touchdown. Jaleel McLaughlin found the back of the end zone. Getting the line of scrimmage quicker, playing with a little bit more pace. Again, Tony Romo talking about that. I really hope that we see more of that. It doesn't have to just be the 2-minute drill. Hey, you want to get some pace? You want to keep the defense guessing? You don't want to give them the luxury of substitutions? Why not play with a little bit more pace? Bo clearly thrives in it. He's said it as much. We've seen as much. Now the coach just has to embrace it a little bit more. He did a great job on that drive. I'd actually like to see it some more.
Yeah, I'd like to see it some more as well. Sean needs to get the play in faster. And Romo, when he wasn't blowing bubbles at the Chiefs, he was saying, like, watch Bo Nix. Bo Nix is like yelling at Sean to get the play in faster, get the play in faster. Why? Because it allows you more time to adjust. Because you're going to have 2 plays that are called. You can easily kill 1 play, go to the second play, and hopefully it's the right adjustment. But put the ball in the hands of Bo Nix. You do that by calling the play faster, getting it into him so that he can adjust to whatever the defense is doing. Now, with Spagnuolo, they didn't really adjust. They're just, they're going to show blitz, but it's our final drive, so they're not going to blitz. Again, Spag's doing some paint-by-number stuff here.
Well, he did it like 3 times in a row, and then I think at that point, Bo's like, I understand what's
doing.
going on now.
Right. You're not fooling Bo Nix. You're going to get him, and this is the experience that he's getting. Bo Nix is not without flaws.
Yeah.
Not without flaws. Kev, don't put me on the list. Bo Nix is not without flaws. Bo Nix has flaws.
Yeah.
And if you're realistic, you can admit that. But we're the Bo Show. We told you he's going to be a franchise quarterback. He is a franchise quarterback. And this is the growth that you see with that type of player. Just wait. What's it going to look like next year at this time?
Exactly. What can it look like by January? Let's see what that L.A. Chargers. And by the way, the Chargers losing to the Jaguars was absolutely
Thank you,
perfect.
Jacksonville.
But, dude, let's go to Christmas. What can he look like by Christmas? He now has a bye. Bo Nix couldn't figure out how to walk, talk, and chew gum at the same time when he was standing in the pocket. He fixed that in 4 days. He's got 10 days now. What's he going to look like against Washington on Sunday Night Football? What's he going to look like against Vegas the second time around when they get back to that game on Sunday, December 7th? You know what I mean? Like, he took 4 days and fixed a really good chunk of his problems throughout this season.
Yeah.
Now he's got 10 days to do that. What's he going to return to look like?
And 3 games at home, 3 games on the road? Is that right? Sean Payton said that last night. 3 games at home,
yeah. At
3
Washington,
on the road.
at Vegas, at KC, host Green Bay, host Jacksonville, host the Chargers.
Okay. Well, then you're going to get it done. You're going to win a lot of games. You're going to win the AFC West. You keep playing the way that you're playing. And if you improve at the rate that we expect this team to improve, I'm just saying J.K. Dobbins can be back by the Super Bowl.
Is that right? Timeline adds up like that, huh?
He can be back by the Super Bowl. It's he's on IR. He's shut down for the rest of the regular season, even if Sean doesn't want to admit it. But he can be available for the Super Bowl. So go make the Super Bowl.
Sean, here's Sean's interaction about JK.
Sean, what can you say to us about J.K. Dobbins' injury situation, and if he's
No updates. I'll keep you posted.
is he out for the season?
No
or not?
updates. I'll keep you posted.
Okay, and then just
Next question.
with the running game today.
Next question.
Your thoughts on the running game today?
Thought it was good. Good enough.
All right, good on Chris Thompson. Clearly, Sean doesn't like Chris, but Chris continuing to walk forward. That's what you do, Chris. He's not going to back down. Good job on Chris Thompson, but I don't know. That's just stubborn Sean. You win, you can kind of earn that, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be mad about Sean being a jerk to reporters. When you win, you can pretty much do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Sean. Be mean, Sean, because you've earned that. We know the truth about J.K. Dobbins. We don't need Chris Thompson to get you to actually say it.
Well, and the thing is, Sean Payton had the right answer. What about the run game? It was good enough.
It was good enough.
It
yesterday.
wasn't good. Nobody's going to be blown away by 21 carries for 59 yards.
But see, this I've changed my tune a little bit on this of like, that's all I need it now. It only needs to be good enough. I'm not going to campaign for RJ to get the same amount of touches from JK. Sean clearly doesn't trust him. And Cecil, I'll be honest with you, I don't trust RJ right now. I don't think you trust RJ right now.
What has he done for you to give him
Exactly.
trust?
He's got, 2 40-yard
Trust
runs?
has to be earned, not just given.
And that's the only thing that he's shown. So I'm actually not even mad about how the run game looked yesterday because I think Sean probably got the most out of what he could have with that running back room as it's currently constructed. Maybe you get a little bit more each week, and then we can start to talk about expectations post-Thanksgiving. But I'm pleasantly surprised with the lack of, I'll be honest, the lack of talent right now in that room. He got enough to get a win.
Yeah, good enough. They're good enough. Now, come postseason, they need to be better. So in these 6 games, can you figure out a ground game? Can you figure out a better rushing attack? And nobody's saying 100 yards or anything like that, but do they add a street free agent? Not Latavius Murray. Stop, please. But, who could it possibly be? We're going to fix and to find out. But going forward, this is who you've got. So you've got to make it work. And if you're Jaleel McLaughlin, you saw a couple of plays where Jaleel knew, if I just would have waited, that hole would have popped. And he was frustrated. You don't have the luxury, Jaleel. You're on the edge of being cut, basically. He hadn't dressed for, 1 game?
Yeah.
We can't sit here and say, no, Jaleel's totally safe. No, he's not. When you're not dressing for games, that means if some decision comes up, they might cut you. So, Jaleel, you don't have the luxury of waiting or, next time. And with RJ Harvey, people were talking about he's a little bit, his timing is off. He was trying to be patient between the tackles. Harvey is learning and he's growing. And you saw it when he'd get the handoff and he's not hitting the hole at full speed.
He's trying to find the perfect passing or rushing lane instead of just taking what's there.
Exactly. And sometimes at the end of the game, he took what was there.
Yeah.
Because you had to. Just force yourself forward, fall forward, hang on to the ball. That's what Harvey was doing. But early in that game, you saw him hesitate when he get the handoff. That's the worst thing you can do. But we anticipate, much like Bo Nix learned, RJ Harvey will learn as well. So what is this going to look like? Your answer is correct. Good enough's going to have to be good enough. But come playoff time, good enough will not be good enough.
Well, and I look at it as okay, what's my good enough definition? 59 yards isn't that great, right? That doesn't sound good, but again, good enough to win yesterday based upon the way the game was going. Will there be a game in the final 6 here, that they have to have 100 yards rushing? 100%, that is going to be the case. Does it have to be RJ that gets 100, Jaleel that gets 100, Tyler that gets 100? No, because I'm very skeptical to say that they can go and do that. But as a group, can they get you 110 rushing yards to make Bo's job a little easier? I think by the time we get to the latter part of the schedule, I'm going to feel comfortable saying they can accomplish that.
Yeah,
I'm a little hesitant right now, but I think they can get there.
And the reason why is in a tougher game, you're going to close them out late. You need your defense rested. You need time of possession. And you need that running back that can do that. Or if you're fighting an offense that's fighting against you, look at the Tampa and Buffalo game.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa was fighting. Tampa was getting it. Sean Tucker, by the way, Syracuse. Sean Tucker with 3 touchdowns? All Buffalo did to win that game was give it to James Cook. That's all they did. And I believe the Broncos receivers are better than the Bills receivers. Don't at me. But with Josh Allen.
About the Broncos playoff game.
Yeah.
The wild card game.
And then yesterday, Buffalo, all they did was hand off to James Cook. Buccaneers were making a fight against Buffalo, and they said, here's James Cook. And then Josh Allen ran in the touchdown.
6 touchdowns.
Exactly. So, and he's the only quarterback in NFL history with 3 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns multiple times.
Wow.
He's the only one.
I didn't know he had done that before.
To ever do it. He's the
Holy
only
cow.
one. But how did Tampa's putting up a fight. How did they fight back? handoff. The Broncos don't have that capability. There's going to be a time when you really miss J.K. Dobbins. Yesterday wasn't that case.
No, it wasn't. We got a question from, or not even a question, but it's a comment that we hadn't brought up yet, and Ronnie's making a great point on the RamosLaw.com text line. Ronnie writes, great show, boys. Appreciate you, Ronnie. This win's even more impressive considering the Chiefs were coming off of a bye. You know what the Chiefs are now? Andy Reid is now 22-5 after a bye. He was 22-4 going into this. And man, even with the bye week, this is probably more of player execution and what the roster currently looks like, and who the Chiefs are, and specifically, I guess they had 3 more rushing yards than the Broncos, but their running game is jacked up right now too. I didn't see this like special Andy Reid. Oh my God, that play call is incredible. How'd he design that thing? I didn't see any of that stuff from Andy Reid.
I saw Kelsey get hot. Unfortunately, I can't stand Travis
It's the
Kelce.
choice routes that you talk about.
Yeah.
That big third down in the fourth, that's a choice route,
Yeah.
and he just wins the choice.
And you just go get open, right? And so it's something where, okay, how do you stop something that you can't design? On the flip side of that, did you hear Chris Jones after the game? Now, Kelsey didn't talk after the game because he's a baby. Patrick did, and people are saying like it's a weird press conference. I haven't listened to it because listening to Pat Mahomes is like listening to a Muppets marathon, and I'm not down with that.
Travis probably had to go get on his girlfriend's jet to create a bigger
Kev,
carbon
if you get bored running our show, then maybe you can watch the Mahomes thing because people are like, he took a shot at Kelsey. Like I don't care.
I doubt he
But
did that.
did you hear what Chris Jones said? Bo Nix knew what they were going to do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you don't want to talk about spags, like
Yeah.
not changing stuff. When it's third down, when the pressure is on its highest, and this is another reason why you need to add tempo and get the plays in faster, Sean. Get the plays to Bo faster, because Chris Jones admitted after the game, yeah, we on that third down call, he knew what we were going to do. And because Bo Nix knew what they were going to do, he knew exactly where to put the ball for Troy Franklin. Again, advanced passing, pass placement from Bo Nix with outside leverage to throw that thing to the inside, to recognize the leverage, to know that's an even more difficult throw than to just put it on the inside. Defender's back's turned, Franklin could turn around and find it. The defender's trying to use the sideline to aid him. It doesn't matter if it's to the inside.
You know what I just popped in my head as you were describing that? Nikola Jokic and the Minnesota Timberwolves from a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Remember when Ant's like, he knows our inbound plays. He's calling out our inbound plays as we're inbounding the basketball.
Yes.
Bo Nix, that's special stuff that Joker does, and now apparently Bo Nix is doing. That's special.
Bo Nix is a special.
That's right, JK. Oh, that's all we have for JK the rest of the year.
Till the Super Bowl.
Till the Super Bowl. That's exactly right. You know what else we have to do, man, is now this is what we're going to do on the show. We tell the truth. When we need to be critical and give a real harsh opinion based off what our eyes are seeing, we're going to do that too. And then when those guys bounce back and respond in the right way, we're going to give them a round of applause, and we're going to say, hell of a fight, boys. Way to turn it around. And I think we should do that for Darren Rizzi and his special teams unit. Darren Rizzi was a major cause for concern. A couple weeks ago, you and I are going, Sean, you fired a good guy. You brought in your buddy, and your buddy's really stinging up the joint right now. Well, you get Marvin Mims back. He checks that box for punt returns, and he had a big one in this game. And then you get the right bodies out there and the beast that is Frank Crum. I mean, that field goal block, man, that's like an unsung hero kind of moment. They might not even win this game had Frank Crum not got – in fact, they wouldn't have won this game had Frank Crum not got that giant mitt up there to block that extra point.
He's a huge man, and he's incredibly athletic. And it's one of my favorite stories because, one, he has great hair, and he is they have a tradition. I think it's third-generation Crumbs. And then his brother is in high school, and he's committed to Wyoming as well. It won't be fourth generation because it's still Frank's generation, but like another Crumb to play for Wyoming. Crum, when I went to Wyoming's Pro Day to watch Chad Muma, because the Broncos need an inside linebacker like every year. And so I'm watching Chad Muma, and off to the side, Crum is working out. But I'm like watching Muma, excited, but I'm seeing this other guy. I'm like, okay, that's Frank Crum. He's the freak from the combine, the hair and everything. But he was so dazzling at his Pro Day, I stopped watching Muma, and I was like, I'm going to go watch this Frank Crum guy. And it's great that he's here. He's a future starting tackle. I don't know if that's left. I don't know if it's right, but he's got the skill. And to be able to do that, to be like a college free agent and to say like, hey, you're going to work on special teams. I think it's outstanding. Also, he works in a jumbo package as well. So a lot of shout outs to maybe some unsung heroes.
Yeah.
And certainly for the Broncos, Frank Crum, number 73 on the field, number 1 on your hearts.
He was a stud. That play was monster and had obviously a huge and significant impact on this game. So shout out to Frank Crum. Shout out to Marvin Mims. They got it done. And then, of course, Will Lutz. Can't forget Will. That's part of special teams, too. He's been solid all year and the best piece of that side of the ball. But, man, they were able to get it done with some huge third down conversions from Bo to Sutton. What Nance call him, Mr. Third Down back there? That's exactly who he was. All right, the Broncos did get some bad news before the big win over KC on Sunday. It was that their lead back, RJ Harbins, what the hell was that? J.K. Dobbins is out for the season. They did enough, as we just said, on the ground game to get